So, the new itemization changes for whoa, the fuck just happened. Okay, League, hold your shit together. Okay, Tear the Goddess now. Removed mana regeneration of 25%, but now has a new passive. It refunds 15% of mana spent. So if you are using abilities, just a portion of that comes back directly, but no one gives you that base regeneration. So if you're a champion that actually likes to spam more than anything else, I see this being more of a buff to you whatsoever. And yes, even Riot's website has spaghetti code. Catalyst is now the Catalyst of Ions instead of Catalyst of the Protector. It costs a little bit less. Unique passive, 50% of damage taken from champions is gained as mana. Spending mana restores 20% of mana spent as health, up to 15 per cast. Interesting. So this has a different functionality now as of sustain, rather than hey you leveled up, boop, get some mana and health given to you. Now it's whenever you're taking damage, it gives you mana, and then when you're spending that mana, it heals you up. So it's constantly flowing that direction. So as I was saying before, this is an amazing synergy item when it comes to a champion like Swain. You ultimate, you already have 5 guys going caw caw. You're gonna be taking damage, you're gonna be leeching damage. Oh, this is cool. This is cool. It's no longer an item that has no value until you level up. It's actually encouraging trades because it'll constantly keep your mana pool rising, and then you attack back, and with the mana you spend, you get that health back. Kind of cool. Chalice of Harmony, a little bit cheaper, no longer restores percentage of missing mana every 5 seconds. Now grants 100% base health regen per 5 seconds if your current health percentage is lower than your current mana percentage. Grants 100% base mana regen per 5 seconds if your current mana is lower than your health. Ooh. Okay, so whatever is lower for your champion, whether it be your health or your mana pool, it will double the effect of your regen to equalize it out. So that's actually pretty nifty as well. Lost Chapter, brand new item. See, it's 900 cost. It's built up Amplifying Tome and Sapphire Crystal and 115 gold. 25 ability power, 300 mana. Passive restores 20% of your maximum mana up over 3 seconds upon leveling up. Don't know what that builds into yet, which we will find out, but kind of sounds nifty at the time being. And Ronnie B, how you doing? Oh, you just want some bananas? You have way too many fucking bananas. I need to take care of that. Fiendish Codex. Cost and ability power increased. It's 100 more gold for the combined cost, but you get 5 more ability power. Okay, 100 gold for 5 more ability power. That's not bad. With the removal of spell event from items, Will of the Ancients is sailing into the sunset. Will of the Ancients is finally gone from the game. Rip and pepperonis. Rod of Ages now costs less by 400 gold. Ability power, though, is now 60 instead of 80, and you only get 300 mana instead of 400. Mana per stack, you get 10 instead of 40. So it gives you a little bit less ability power and less mana and scaling mana. But the passive from the Catalyst transfers over, whereas the percentage of all damage gained dealt to you is returned as mana, and then for every mana restores 25% of mana spent as health, up to 25 per cast. Okay, so again, this looks like a very good Swain item to me. Morella Namicon. Builds out of the Lost Chapter. That was that new item. Fiendish Codex and Amplifying Tome. It went up in cost by 500 gold, but now it's 100 ability power instead of 80. Hey DK, what is better to get, Roa versus HeadTech GPL 800? I am not sure yet, Cookies Hunter. We haven't gotten that far yet into the item patch notes. But once we reach that point where I go over the Hextech items, I will definitely review that statement right there. Let me see. Morella Namicon now gives you mana. Mana regeneration is now gone, but kill and assist now restore 20% of your maximum mana. 20% cooldown reduction is now unique. Grievous wounds now inflict on enemies below 35% health, but it lasts for 8 seconds. So you get a little bit, you get some mana now out of this item. No longer have mana regeneration, like actual regen. You get a bit more ability power because it costs a little bit more to make it, and you get basically the Athene's passive when you kill something, because you get a chunky of mana back. Overall, kind of cool. Athene's Unholy Grail costs less. Man, only 40 ability power. That's not good at all. 75% mana regeneration instead of 100. No longer restores 20% mana regen on kill or assist, because they gave that now to the Namicon. Aching Blood. Passive 20% of pre-mitigation damage you deal to champions is gained as blood charges, up to a cap of 100 to 250 at levels 1 through 18. Healing or shielding an ally consumes your current blood charges to heal that ally. Grants 100% base health regen provided, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so Athene's... it's going to be a support item. So as long as you're able to apply a heal or shield on them, you will give them... also consume your blood charges to heal that ally. That's actually kind of interesting. Athene's has already been kind of irrelevant as an actual mid-lane regen item for a long time. I mean, people were using Namicon for the most part, or even Frost Queens, which is meant to be a support item, but people were using Frost Queens due to the damage amplification and the proc, where you can get the spooky ghosts to slow people. Spooky ghosts! But now Athene's is basically a support item now. That's kind of cool. Don't know how well it's actually going to work, because again, it has to be it's going to have to be a champion that can actually shield or heal. So, I know, Karma can do it. But that means champions like Zyra, Annie, Brand, those three, which are more of your aggro. Granted, they're meant to be mages to begin with, but people play them as support. But they're not going to have any use for this item at all, because they can't heal or shield unless they get a Mikhail's or a Locket. Speaking of Mikhail's, mana regen gone up, no longer restores, but grants 100%, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so they gave the Chalice passive over to here now, and it gives you even higher base regen. Not bad. Tear of the Goddess upgrades. No longer grants mana regeneration, but now refunds 25% of mana spent in addition to granting ability power based on maximum mana. Okay. Now refunds 15% maximum mana spent. Okay. So, I kind of knew this was a change they were going with the tier when I went through the PvE notes a couple weeks back. And I've currently been spamming a considerable amount of Urgot lately, because I knew this change right here would be a buff for someone like Urgot. Mana regeneration is not bad and all and everything on him, but if you're just able to reduce the cost of his missiles to begin with, and you just keep spamming and spamming them that way, Urgot can have a lot more viability when it comes to lane harass, at least in the bot lane. Mid lane, I'm not too sure, to be entirely honest. Abyssal Scepter, 400 more gold going into it. Fiendish Codex, Negatron, and Amplifying. So it no longer needs a Blasting Wand. Now it's a Codex and Amplifying Tome. Has a little bit less ability power, but a little bit more magic resist. But now it has CDR. So that's actually not bad at all. Magic resistance aura, instead of being 20, it's now 10 to 25. Aura no longer applies to minions. So it's not an item you don't want to rush it, really, unless you're facing some very serious magic damage to the other team. Because the aura is a little bit weaker. But as a second, third item, completely doable. Zanya's Hourglass, 600 gold cheaper. Seeker's Arm Guard and Fiendish Codex now, plus 800 gold instead of the needlessly large rod and 1050. So I just explained the change, but now it's only 70 ability power instead of 100. But now it also gives cooldown reduction. But the cooldown for the stasis is 30 seconds longer, so you can't use it that often. Alright, now we're going to your question, Cookies Hunter, about the Hextech items. Hextech Revolver no longer gives spell vamps, but now adds bonus damage to basic attacks. Let me see, combined cost is 1050 instead of 1200. Cool. Damaging an enemy champion with a basic attack shocks them for 750 to 150 bonus magic damage. 40-second cooldown shared with other Hextech items. So it's an AP item that deals magic damage on attack. No longer gives spell vamp. So I'm assuming it's still 40 ability power. Yeah, it's supposed to be, I think it's built out of 2 amplifying tomes. Yeah, so it should still be like 40 ability power. I'm trying to think what champions would really benefit just having this alone. Alright, so let's get to the GLP 800. Activate to spray enemies with icy bolts and slow them. 3,000 gold combined cost. It's the revolver plus a catalyst and 850 gold. It's 80 ability power. That's actually quite a jump. 300 health, 400 mana. Fluency, 50% of damage taken from champions is gained as mana, blah, 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 blah. Fires a spray of icy bolts that explodes, dealing 100 to 200 magic damage. Enemies hit are slowed by 65%, decaying over 0.5 seconds. And has a 0.35 ability power ratio. What is better, Roa versus Hextech? Let's go back to the Roa now, so we can compare. Roa is 400 gold cheaper. Let's look at the base numbers again. So it's 80 ability power, 3,000 gold, 300, 400. So we have 60 ability power that will scale up to 80. So Rod will eventually be as potent as the GLP. Same amount of mana, same amount of health, 400 gold cheaper. I would definitely have to say it depends entirely what champions you're going to be playing for what you're aiming to do. I can actually see GLP being a lot better if your champion lacks means to disengage or like just self-peel in a way because it fires in a line. And I would prefer using the GLP more as a retreat option than to chase people down. But Rod will eventually outscale when it comes to the actual health and mana overall. And it's 400 gold cheaper, so that's an extra amplifying tome, basically. You can put into something else, and it'll still be with the same ability power after 10 minutes. The only thing that GLP has over is that you now have this mini nuke that can slow. There it is. Mini nuke that can slow.
I was going to watch it, and I realized there wasn't enough time to watch it.
Honestly, has an AP ratio too, so that blast can get substantial, I guess. Honestly, I think I would take the GLP for most situations. I mean, unless you have a champion that's going to be eating through a lot of mana, then Roa would be better to just... Actually, hold on. Mana's 400. What was Roa? Wasn't it... No, Roa's 300, so it'd only scale up to the 400. So the only thing you'd be gaining from the Roa is extra health. And it's 400 gold cheaper. 400 gold cheaper and extra health. That's all you'd be gaining out of it. I think it's you get 20 health per stack. So 200 health and 400 extra gold, or have a burst. If you're not looking to scale at all, GLP. If you are looking to scale, Roa. See, Hextech Protobelt 01. Total cost is 2,500 gold. Hextech Revolver and a Kindle Gem. 60 ability power, 300 health. Cooldown reduction. Unique active dash forward and unleash a Nova fire bombs that deal 75 to 150 magic damage. Enemies hit by multiple fire bolts take 20% damage from additional bolts. 0.35 ability power ratio. So it's health, it's CDR, and it's ability power. So I'm trying to think what champions would benefit from this, because it's a mini initiation, at least engage tool. Just puts you in position better and does AoE damage. Basically, I would say any sort of like beefier mage that lacks some sort of like I can see this actually being a Vladimir item right now, because I mean it has AP, it has health, has CDR, everything he wants wrapped up, and now he can use his Protobelt to either get into a fight to lay off a good Tides of Blood or a Hemoplague, or to escape and then troll pool out. So yeah, I can see this being a decent Vladimir option. Hextech Gunblade, unchanged, unchanged. Same fucking thing. 1 second. Doing patch notes, can't do anything for now. Okay. Sorry about that. Whoop. Now we have the jungle bosses, elemental dragons. Everyone's seen mastery level 6 and 7 currently in testing. Okay, that's fine. We have 4 new drakes right now. They got rid of the old dragon, and they now added 4 new ones. Basically, one for each element: earth, fire, wind, water. And they each give your team different buffs depending on what dragon's killed, and they are absolutely randomized. So you don't know what's coming up until you kill it, and then it'll show like the emblem for the next dragon. First, there's the let me see, mountain drake, the earth dragon. Killing this dragon gives your team a percentage bonus true damage to epic monsters and turrets. So against other dragons, Baron, Rift Herald, and turrets, you deal extra damage to them, and it's true. So it makes it a lot easier to try to take those down. It's good for sieging. We have Infernal Drake, which is the fire dragon. Grants permanent percentage on extra attack damage and ability power. Jesus Christ, people, piss off. I don't care. Cloud Drake, that's the air drake. Slaying the Cloud Drake permanently grants 15, 30, 45 bonus movement speed while out of combat. More movement speed, more mobility to get around the map, set things up. Oh, overall, pretty good to have. And then the Ocean Drake. Slaying the Ocean Drake permanently provides a regeneration effect that restores 10% of your missing health and mana every 18, 12, and 6 seconds. So after every little while, you get a nice little surge of regeneration. Not bad. And then there's the Elder Dragon. After 35 minutes, the elemental dragons will no longer spawn. In their place, the Elder Dragon will spawn every 10 minutes. So his cooldown, like his spawn timer, is longer than Baron. It's longer than anything in the game. For the next 120 seconds, basic attack and spells burn the target for 45 plus 45 extra damage per stack of elemental drake buff over 3 seconds. For the next 120 seconds, increases the strength of elemental dragon buffs by 50%. Thanks for the question. Even when you do want to scale, though, is the active worth the trade-offs for the extra stats? Sorry, I didn't ask sooner. No, I mean, that's fine. I mean, basically, the only thing you're trading off with Roa over the GLP, Roa will give you 200 extra more health, I believe. I think so, 200. I don't recall whether it's 20, 30, or 40 extra health per minute. But you're trading off health, and it's 400 gold cheaper. So that means you can itemize into, like, put money into other items a lot faster. So that's the only real upgrade to Roa. So I'm saying if you're a champion that more wants to scale into the game, then you definitely want to go with more with Roa, especially if you're already going like a tier. So Rise, for example, he's still going to go Roa because he wants to be beefier as well. If you're a champion that just wants to have the regeneration stats and some extra burst, GLP works right up your alley. But basically, with Elder Dragon, for 2 minutes, all your buffs 50% stronger, and for each buff you already had, you get an extra 45 burn damage on your R attacks and spells over the 3 seconds. So, if you're controlling dragons, this dragon buff is massive. Rift Herald, let me see, spawns only once a game. There's only one Rift Herald in the game. Once it's gone, it's gone. Spawn time is now 6 minutes instead of 4 minutes. Base health is now 8,000 instead of 5. Has more armor, more magic resist, more attack damage. And the backstab damage deals less damage to it. So the Rift Herald is going to be a legitimate raid boss. Like, he's going to be hard to fucking take down. You're going to have to coordinate to get him. Now drops Glimpse of the Void instead of Doom's Eye. And the duration of it is 20 minutes instead of 2 minutes. And Glimpse of the Void is not lost on death or obtaining Hand of Baron. So it can stack with a Baron buff as well. While no allied champions are near you, you gain 5% damage reduction against the champions and continuously build charges to corruption. At 100 charges, your next basic attack discharges all stacks of corruption, dealing 15 to 270 magic damage. Levels 1 through 18, damage halved for ranged champions. So basically, you get Rift Herald if you want someone to sit on an island. So again, Rift Herald was already initially created to be the jungle objective for the jungler and top lane to contest over. Be like, okay, bot lane and mid lane, they have their dragon. You up in the top lane are going to have the Rift Herald. This is now even more beneficial because, hey, when no allies are near you, you take less damage and you apply more damage over time. Just build a charge, just pop them hard. And the fact it lasts for 20 minutes, it's basically going, if you get this on a champion that already wants to try to split push and apply pressure, they're going to be doing it for a long fucking time. So I can see this giving a lot of implications where people are going to be defending and contesting the Rift Herald a lot. So if you see someone who already wants to split push pretty well, so we'll say like Nasus, Riven, Tryndamere, Trundle, people just want to sit in the top lane, just push, 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 push. The second the enemy team sees them fighting over Rift Herald, you can bet there's going to be some team fights trying to contest it to keep them from having that buff for 20 minutes. And the fact it's not lost after death, that's huge. It's definitely a very good way of rewarding players for taking advantage of this right here. And the fact that stacks only rises at 6 minutes means you can't just get some like cheeky like level 4, level 5 rotation from the mid, top, and jungle to move over there, because by 6 minutes, that's only when people, at least solo laners, have their ultimates. Alright, Baron Nashor. Nothing too fancy, just amping Baron's buff duration. Sure, it's worth consideration when trading endgame objectives like maybe an all-powerful Elder Dragon. Baron buff will now last for 3.5 minutes instead of 3. Red and blue buffs last 120 seconds the first time a camp is cleared, and 90 seconds on subsequent clears. Okay. So, red buff and blue buff. Good first time they die. But after they die, they are 75% as efficient from that point on. So if you can't just pass them off to your AD carry or your mid laner, depending on the red and blue buff, and give them the same same rewards. Damage over time for red buff. 4 times level at 1.5 in 3 seconds. Now applies a free tick of damage on application or re-amplification, in addition to applying or extending the damage over time effect. Slow is higher now, level 11. Health regeneration.
Revenge of the Fifth. Right, Revenge of the Fifth. It's like Montezuma's revenge from drinking Mexican water.
Interesting. So a little bit more extra regeneration later on. Overall, a little bit less damage initially, but you can reapply it. So red buff, interesting. Blue buff gives you 15% bonus ability power instead of a flat amount. So if you're a champion that's not running any ability power, like more like a tank jungler, something like that, just building pure beef, you're not going to get extra ability power. But if you do give this over to your mid laner, while it's 75% as effective in its duration, the fact is going to give them like a mini Rebadon depth cap effect. It's kind of cool. And regen. Okay, and increase the regeneration as well. Not bad. Let me see 1 second. Jungle timers. Let me see. Jungle timers for all buff camp and epic monster respawns are now automatically granted to both teams at 60 seconds before spawn. Vision of the takedown still grants the full timer. Respawn icon appears at the camp's location on the main map at 60 seconds before spawn, brightening at 20 seconds. Interesting. So, red, blue, rift, and dragon will all now show So you always have a minute window of knowledge of going, oh, this is about to come up. Basically, that's all it's saying. Turret stats. Turret damage increases by 37.5% a second, 40% for the first 3 shots. Keying up. Damage no longer partially resets when turrets switch targets. Maximum damage 220% over 3 shots instead of 225 over 4. So turrets are going to deal a lot more damage a lot earlier, and the damage will not reset when it switches targets. It will maintain its maximum burst and just keep chunking. So for the most part, trying to deal with turrets, like especially when it comes to dives, it's going to be very punishing. Base health has been reduced, but the armor has been increased along with MR. Turrets are now subject to armor and magic penetration effects. So basically, turrets are going to be a little bit harder to take down now if you don't have any penetration. Fortification, outer turret, early game defensive buff now applies to non-champion sources as well. 35% damage reduction from all sources. So outer turrets will take a lot less damage from everything. Champions, minions, everything early on. Reinforced armor, turret backdoor bonus now grants damage reduction instead of resistance. No longer grants 200 armor and magic resistance. Physical and magical damage is now reduced by 66.66%. So if you're trying to take the turret down without having minions nearby, it's going to reduce your damage by 2/3, regardless. Ability power damage versus turrets. When your ability power is more than double your bonus attack damage, your basic attacks against turrets scale with 50% ability power instead of 100% bonus attack damage. Basic attack scaling off of ability power now deals magic damage to turrets. Base damage is still physical. So if you have ability power, you still can deal damage to turrets. Turret rewards, local gold is 300 instead of 220. Only 100 gold per teammate. And maximum team gold is 800 instead of 845. So turrets now give less gold globally, but they give a lot more gold to the person that is right there. So, trading for turrets over dragons right now might not be favorable because most of your allies aren't going to get much of a gold reward, but your split pusher would. Interesting. Inner turret rewards, local gold is now 175 instead of 250. The global gold is now 125 instead of 150, blah, blah, blah. No longer grants 50 global experience. So the inner turrets now no longer give experience to people, and they give less gold to everyone involved. So basically, you're only getting rewarded with more map control instead of money. Inhibitor turret rewards, 50 gold locally instead of 0, and 150 gold per teammate. You actually get more gold now from killing an inhibitor turret by 50. What to do? Game pacing. Oh my god, we're still only here. This is taking a while. Tactic of solo player, banning limb, blah 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 blah. Non-epic jungle monsters now only grant experience to their killers. Jungle monster experience rewards no longer increase when you're lower level than the slain monster. So you can't be lower level and try to kill monsters now to catch up in experience. So if you're AFK or get disconnected and you come back, the jungle will beat your ass and not reward you for it. All jungle items now grant 30 bonus experience on monster kill for each level higher the monster is than you. Okay. It's only for if you have jungle items. If you have jungle items, you're still fine. 100% talisman grant 50 bonus experience on large monster kill. Stalker's Blade, blah blah blah, give you 50 bonus experience on large monster kill. Based on the above changes, total jungle experience rewards have been adjusted. Overall junglers now get slightly more experience per clear, while non-junglers get slightly less. So, more beneficial for junglers. Clear the jungle, get experience, catch up, or even get ahead in levels if you're a power farmer. Death timers reduced between 20 to 35 minutes. So during the mid-game time frame, you don't stay dead as long. Moral of the story. Home guard, the haste duration is now 7 seconds instead of 8, and haste amount scales up throughout the game. So at 20 minutes, it's only 75%, up to 150% at 40 minutes, which is still a nerf. Overall, they don't want people to be reliant so much on these home guard boosts. Just recall and just relocate to another part of the map. They want you to be more positionally aware of where you should fucking be. Some more champion changes. Azir R no longer pins targets to walls. You can no longer just pin them and make them go boop 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 boop. It'll push them or drop them for the final. Okay. Alawi. Tentacles no longer appear in Fog of War. Vessels can no longer clear their debuff by killing tentacles. Tentacles are no longer prevented from spawning if the vessel's recalling. Vessel debuff duration is 12 seconds. Tentacles spawn near vessel once every 5, 4, 3 seconds. Tentacles spawn by vessel spawn 700 units apart. Oh, okay. So beforehand with Alawi, if you manage to get a Test of Spirit debuff on a champion, for the next minute they were your bitch, because every 10 seconds a tentacle spawn, and just whoosh, try to just smack them down, and they would have to mind their position. Again, it was every 10 seconds, but it lasted a whole minute. Now the debuff is only for 12 seconds, but once as you hit levels 1, 7, 13, every 5, 4 to 3 seconds a tentacle spawn and try to smack them. So while the debuff is a lot lower now, they're going to be dealing with tentacles more often and have to dance around a lot more. Kindred, they increase the cooldown of Dance of Wolves while you're in Wolf's Frenzy at the earlier levels. Thank fucking God. Wolf's Frenzy has a longer duration. Hunter's Vigor gains less charge from movement. Hunter's Vigor charges when land basic attacks. Wolf deals 50% bonus damage to monsters. So better for jungle clearing, less utilization overall. Mordekaiser. Elder Dragon's Ghost is larger and has 50% more health than normal dragon ghosts. I forgot with Mordekaiser you can steal the fucking Elder Dragon. That's going to be fun. Nidalee, takedown. Alright, so the damage is based on the rank of your ultimate. So execute bonus damage is lower early on, higher once you hit level 16. Rengar jump strikes now proc energized attacks like Stack Shiv, etc. So it works. So Stack Shiv, Rapid Fire, that stuff will proc with Rengar. Savagery, fix a bug with Savagery, consumes Spellblade or Deadman's Plate, effect without dealing damage. Ebola strikes. Interesting. Throw the Hunt, fix a bug with Rengar, something blah 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 blah. Soraka, Star Call. Slow amount is now consistent in all ranks. Rejuvenation movement speed is lower. Rejuvenation no longer refreshes when Speaker's Blessing. So Soraka nerfs. Taric increases base mana, lowered his base mana growth. Bastion has a lower cast range and a lower leash range, so you have to stay closer to the target. And Dazzle has a smaller width and a smaller cast length. So Taric was relevant for one fucking patch, and he's already getting nerfed. Teemo. Entering stealth won't interrupt auto attacks and wind up. Blinding Dart, buffed on the mana cost. Noxious Trap, buffed on the mana cost. Ammo recharge time, buffed on the cooldown. So yeah, Teemo got buffed. More traps. Zac revives faster at higher levels. Let me see, base movement speed is increased by 5. Blobs reform after 8, 7, 6, 5, 4 seconds at level. Okay, that's good. Because later on in the game, it was just so easy for Zac to die. Even in cluster team fights, people could still focus him down enough. This at least gives you a chance in those later engages to respawn. Splash changes. Let's see, items. Boot enchantments are gone. You get your boots, that's all it is. Enchantment Devourer is gone. Goodbye, Ghost Dog. It's now been replaced by the Blood Razor. It's 260, same cost as all the other items. Still built out of recurve bow. Still gives attack speed. Now, basic attacks deal 3% of the target's maximum health as bonus physical damage. Maximum health instead of current. Okay. Still good. But now it's just physical damage. The good thing with the Devourer, even say Devourer, is that made your extra damage be magical. So you're still dealing mixed damage and auto attacks, whereas this is now purely physical, but it's percentage based. Gensu's Rage Blade. Icon's been updated. Costs 800 more gold. It's built out of a recurve bow as well. 35 attack damage, 50 ability power. Deals 15 magic damage on hit. Basic attacks grant 8% attack speed, plus 3 attack damage, and 4 ability power for 5 seconds. Maximum stacks is now 6 instead of 8. Melee champions no longer get bonus stacks, no longer deals AoE damage. During Gensu's Rage, every other basic attack will trigger on-hit effects an additional time. So basically, they're giving the Devourer proc to the Gensu. I don't know how I feel about this. Black Cleaver is cheaper, but it loses 5 damage. Honestly, that's fine. It was such a massive item. Let's see. Righteous Glory is good enough to be worth a slot over things like Dead Man's. Let's find out shortly enough. Spectre's Cow is a little bit more expensive, gives you a little bit more health, but a little bit less MR. I don't know if that's really good. Banshee's Veil costs less, but gives you 200 less health, so that's gonna be a nerf. Spectre's Cow and Negatron Cloak. Spirit Visage costs unchanged, gives you less magic resistance, but more health regen and more passive healing. So you'll take more damage from magic sources, but your passive regeneration, everything is buffed up. Depending on the champions you're playing, that could definitely be a buff still. But I don't know. Guardian Angel, cheaper, but less magic resistance. Actually, that's fine. I'm going to say, for the most part, people buy Guardian Angel if you're playing someone that's very squishy, that needs time to deal out damage. So if you're a mage of some, or more primarily, if you're a marksman, you get a Guardian Angel as your defensive item. So you're not really caring so much about the magic resistance stats. You're more caring about the fact that you get to come back alive. Quicksilver Sash Mercurial Scimitar, active now only removes crowd control. So Zed, you just got buffed. Mordekaiser, you just got buffed. Because now you can't QSS that shit. Staircase Shield is now classified as Lifeline, along with shields from Hexdrank and Mama Mortius. When a Lifeline effect triggers, all Lifeline items are put on the cooldown. Wow, you can't stack that shit anymore. So you can't go Staircase and Mama Mortius and have double shields. Well, that might put an end, actually, to Graves and Kindred Jungle. Because that was very common for them. Balmy Cinder gives you 20 less health. Sunfire Cape costs a little bit more due to combined cost. Cinder Hulk does less base damage, but scales a lot more with levels, so it will deal more damage overall. Vision Ward now has 4 base health instead of 5, but now regenerates 1 health every 3 seconds after 5 seconds out of combat. So technically a gym buff. Less health, but regenerates health while out of combat. So if people are fighting your ward, but then let's say, for example, you engage them and force them off, the ward will regenerate its health. So overall, a buff if you're able to defend. Farsight Alteration, cooldown is up. So you can't use that one as much, which actually I'm okay with this. So many people were just spamming this just so they can try to get vision in the jungle that no one was carrying yellow wards. And if you're someone that likes to play teleport champions, you're pissed off because you can't teleport to this shit. So you need a Sightstone and real wards to TP to. Alright, now to your question, Cookies Hunter. Righteous Glory. Costs 100 less gold. Has that new passive from the Catalyst where it will give you mana and yada yada. Assemble no longer gives speed up allies. Active movement speed is 75% instead of 60. Haste duration is 4 seconds instead of 3. Active slow is 75% instead of 80. 2 seconds instead of 1. So, gets you in there. Lasts longer to get you in there. And when it pops, it does a good slow for a longer amount of time. Actually, I would say this is better than Dead Man's Plate. Dead Man's Plate, while it gives you consistent movement speed bonus, you don't have to activate it, and it gives you a little bit extra true damage when you hit a target. This is better for like on the spot engages. So if you need to not just build up movement speed and get in there, well, Dead Man's Plate gives you like 60 extra movement speed. That's 60 base. It's not a whole lot. It's good, better for like long chases. But if you need to just get your ass in a team fight, Dead Man's Plate is better, especially if you're the primary initiator.
That is also true. You can do that.
Yeah, I would say this is better than Dead Man's Plate if you are an actual initiator. And now if you're a chaser,
I told you by Friday.
then you want to go Dead Man's Plate. Alright, 1 second. Alright, we're actually going to finish this off in the next video. I'm going to wait for things to quiet down. I'll be back.